If you sell a full-size truck in North America, no matter how many efforts you might put into your truck, let's focus principally on internal combustion engined full-size trucks, well, you're an underdog. It doesn't matter how many billions you spend on developing, engineering, building, whatever your truck, you're an underdog. To all other, this applies to the almighty Sierra, to the Silverado, to the Ram 1500, to, well, the Nissan Titan, well, and this is the brand new 2022 Toyota Tundra, third generation Tundra, and there is so much to love about this new truck, especially if you were a fan of the previous truck. Now, the previous truck, the second generation Tundra, was a little bit of a running gag, right? So it was the T100 beforehand, then in 2000, or for the 2000 model year, Toyota introduced the first generation Tundra, which was cool. And then in 2007, they introduced the second generation Tundra, and I laughed because it was the same truck essentially sold up until 2021. But what was great about that truck is that it was unapologetically a raw work truck, and I absolutely loved it for that. And one of the reasons why I love the new generation truck, third generation truck, is that I can still feel the presence of the previous generation truck, but it's much, much better. Well, no, let's just say it's much, much more refined. But there's one thing I need to do before I go on with this video, and it doesn't quite work with a bottle of water, but I'm going to pour one for my iForce 5.7 liter V8 because it's gone. I loved that engine. And it's in fact quite a bold move on behalf of Toyota because, well, GM, Ford, and Stellantis still offer V8 engines in their full-size truck lineups, but no longer available in the new Tundra. What replaces the V8, it's not an issue whatsoever, except for one possible, I don't know, I won't call it a turnoff, but look, this is the brand new Tundra, and the previous Tundra was doing quite well, even come to the end of its life cycle, its extended life cycle. And this one is going to pick up exactly where the other one left off because it's pretty damn impressive. So let's take a walk together around this long truck, and we'll point out a few things as per the norm, and then we'll take it for a spin. Here we go. Okay, so I think you'll all have figured out who I'm talking about when I say Underdog 2, right? I mean, the F-150 is the best-selling full-size truck in North America, and it will be probably as long as I'm alive, be it electric or petrol-powered or diesel or whatever the heck. It's just the benchmark, period. But still, I have to appreciate all the efforts that Toyota and the other automakers have put into their trucks. And it's kind of funny because now I'm going to talk about design. When I went to the first initial reveal of the Tundra, I thought it looked pretty damn good until somebody pointed something out to me. Jen, you know who you are. The grille surround. Hogan handlebar mustache. I can't get over it. I can't unsee it, and I'm very upset about that. But there are different trims, say TRD Pro, that's actually blacked out, so you don't see it as much. Hogan handlebar mustache. Thank you. But overall, the design of this truck is quite nice. I mean, it's tough, but it's not overly trying to show how big and powerful and tough it is. There's, I don't want to say a certain daintiness to it, but you know, it's not bullish, if you will. I mean, there's efforts put even into the taillights, which kind of make them, you know, look modern and slim and cool. I don't know. A for effort as far as design is concerned. What does help too is the actual trim inversion here. So let's get into pricing. US base price $35,950. Canada $44,990. That's for the 4x2 double cab SR trim. Basic equipment is still pretty damn good. I mean, wireless, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, 8-inch display, so on and so forth. At the very other end of the trim spectrum is the capstone. $73,530 in the US, $84,150 in Canada. That's with the hybrid powertrain, which this one doesn't have. Moving on. This one actually is a Crew Max Limited with the long bed. That's why it looks so good. So it's got the full size cab and it's got the 6 foot 5-inch bed, as opposed to the 5 foot 5-inch bed or the 8 foot 1-inch bed, which is only available to double cab anyhow. It is priced from $62,850. For that price, considering the equipment, I think it might be a volume version. I mean, it includes a 14-inch display, 20-inch wheels, cargo bed outlet, cooled front seats, Outtakes leather seats, moonroof, and so on and so forth. My tester, as the rain begins to fall, has one package which is an absolute must no matter what. It's a limited TRD off-road package. And it includes these 18-inch wheels with the dedicated tires, which just improve the ride quality as they are combined with some TRD off-road dampers, which are brilliant. I'll tell you more about that in a few moments. It's got a rear locking differential, heated TRD steering wheel, rear locking differential. It's I mean, geez, damn near perfect. Let's do one quick lamp. Oh, by the way, the color is called Blueprint, which is a good choice. And here comes the rain. All right. So there's one or a few things lacking. So the tailgate is thankfully dampened, but some efforts that should go into the facelift or mid-trim or whatever, because it should be offered on every Tundra, is a step to get in. I mean, Ford's step is brilliant right there to get into the bed. I mean, in most other trucks, GMs especially, they have bumper steps or have steps down here at the bottom. I mean, it's not exactly, I mean, it's old school despite being brand new. Details, but important details, especially if you use the bed regularly. But you still have all kinds of slots to, set up or customize the layout of the bed. And you got the sliders and the hooks and all that. And there's the outlets in the bed. Yay, rain. Okay. What I love about having a full-size cab is, apologies for that, because, well, it's raining, so I'm doing this quickly. It's massive back there. Massive, massive, massive. I mean, the kids have so much room, and let's just say you want to fit an adult in between the two seats, it works, there's room. I mean, otherwise, 3 full-size grown men can sit back there without grunting too much. They have their own cup holders, there are USB ports. It's actually hail, that's fantastic, okay. So I like the efforts here. I mean, it's not the greatest material, but the different surfaces. Like, this is a cheaper plastic than this one. This one is a little bit softer. Faux stitching, different surfaces. This is mildly padded. Door bins aren't exactly the greatest, but that just barely fits, but it works. And then on the inside, Toyota did a few things that I love, and then they couldn't resist doing a few other things that I don't like as much. Let's get in before I get pelted. All right, let's start it up. Okay, so let's just start right here. So this version still has analog gauges, but even so. I mean, the center display, yeah, you saw that, eh? Oof, not that great, but even so. So all the displays right there. I mean, it's very straightforward, and that's what I loved about the previous generation Tundra. Everything was very straightforward. There's one thing though. Okay, so you see that the volume, okay, there's an indicator there, obviously. Okay, and it pops up here as well. That's so distracting, and it happens again in other situations. As the hail comes down, this is insane. But yeah, what I love about Toyota is they always have in their trucks large, easy to read and access buttons. All the controls are very straightforward. This reminds me, okay, watch this. Do you see the, oh yeah, 14-inch screen. Do you see the resolution? That means Toyota finally has run out of the billions of cameras that they bought back in 2004. It's amazing. It's beautiful and different angles and setups. So much to say about this truck. Oh, here's another thing. Okay, so drive controls, drive modes. So they appear here, right? So that's kind of cool. And then they appear there too. Distracting and pointless. When my passenger needs to know what's going on, doesn't really matter. Multi-terrain select control as well, so that's how you access the different drive modes for off-roading. Is a TRD after all. This is for 4x4, you push down and then you pull or push. Not quite as dramatic maybe as a wheel or a shifter, but you got a shifter anyway. So that's fantastic. Let's go back into two-wheel drive. Storage up here is fantastic. There's tons of storage. This bin opens up, and there's room in there, and then there's all kinds of room in there. Anyway, so much time for nothing. Okay, what I wanted to say that I don't like about Toyota is that they couldn't help themselves and use small, tiny, dainty, I guess I use the word again, buttons. So they work fine. Admittedly, they work quite fine, but I don't know. It kind of clashes with what I love about the big buttons in here. Visibility is pretty damn good, considering it's a truck. It works beautifully. Nothing wrong to say, nothing bad to say. I mean, look, you still have a little bit of a spot over there. The seats are very comfortable. I mean, it's a great place. I can't wait to drive the Sequoia for all of this interior layout. Anyway, enough of that. Let's take it for a spin. Goodness, that's far. Okay, so let's get right into powertrains. Like I said, the V8 is gone, but other than the mad melody it produced, it should be forgotten quickly enough. That's because it is replaced by a twin turbocharged 3.5 liter V6 that is available 3 different ways. So the more basic models have a 348 horsepower output with 405 pound-feet of torque. Now, the previously, if I'm not mistaken, standard for 2021, at least maybe even 2020, 5.7 liter V8 produced 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque. So I don't think it'll be missed for the power. This version, which is probably going to be the volume output version of the Tundra, has 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque as of 2400 RPM. So that essentially crushes the V8's, the previous 5.7 liter V8's output. If I could just add a little thing here, fuel economy, as far as Toyota is concerned, and Natural Resource Canada, they think this will average about 12.5 liters in combined driving. No. I'm averaging, as you can see, 16 and change, and that's almost an exact mix, 50-50, maybe 55 city, 45 highway. And the snow is gone, and it's relatively mild. It's been between 5 and 15 degrees Celsius all week. Well, not hail every day, but it's just my luck. So yeah, aim for 15 and you won't be too disappointed. Because frankly, obviously, I'm stuck at a light. That's what always happens. This thing has some serious guts. Oh yeah, and there's the hybrid version too, which this isn't. And that's going to be completely bonkers. 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. As far as fuel economy improvements, we'll have to wait and see, because I can't wait to drive that one. 10-speed automatic transmission is standard, and this kind of ties into the fact that I can still feel the essence of the second generation Tundra in the new truck. There's a certain, I mean, this is far more refined, a lot more quiet, smoother, just nicer overall. It feels less tinny, better built, better assembled, everything kind of up to snuff, 21st century stuff, not, you know, mid 80s feeling truck like the previous generation one. So yes, that's an improvement, but there's still something very mechanical and, like I said, raw about how everything operates. Steering is heavy, and it I don't know, it's noisy, it's a little raucous. Even the V6 makes a fair amount of noise, but obviously it doesn't sound anywhere near as good as the 5.7, and we're at another traffic light. And the brake pedal feels almost the same as the previous one. There's good feedback to it. And yeah, but that's where the comparisons end, because the ride quality on this thing is phenomenal. And that is key, or the key elements to that is the limited TRD off-road package, which gives you the TRD off-road dampers, which will just give you a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more give, a little bit more cushioning to the ride quality, and then the 18-inch tires as well. There's so much more sidewall, which means that even when unladen, you can drive around in the city in this thing and you're not being punished. And this is only third trim up from the base SR5 Limited, if I'm not mistaken, and Platinum and all other kinds of versions. And it's just spectacular, but it's not trying to compete with how smooth and quiet and almost luxurious as the Ford F-150 or the GM trucks want to be. But the presentation and the layout on the inside hints that Toyota's trying to convince you that it is. I'm convinced that it is. Now, I won't say that I would buy this over any of the American trucks. I mean, I understand that the Ram is maybe not the most robust and capable, and the GMs are really good, solid, relatively reliable. But because I'm not a full-fledged truck guy and I have no real use for a truck, I'm not sure I would go for one of the GMs or the Fords. This is not relevant really, but I'm saying it anyway because it's my video. I would probably seriously consider this or a Ram. Actually, I would probably go for the Ram. But if I circle back to the underdog thing, never has the Tundra been more relevant, I think. Modern powertrain, lovely interior, good drive, very capable. Max payload capability is about 1,900 pounds. Max towing is 12,000, I believe. This trim is just a notch below. I think it's just under 1,700 pounds payload, and I think it's like just over 11, around 11.5 towing capacity, which for most non-workhorse truck owner users will meet every demand. And for all those reasons, I mean, if you can get over the Hogan handlebar mustache, this is a really good truck. And look, I'm in sport mode right now. This thing boogies. It's really, really fast. Yes, that's why the fuel consumption is bad. Anyway, I've said way too much as always, but this is a very interesting full-size truck in this segment, and I can't wait to drive the hybrids. Oh shit.